Good morning, fellow traders. Black Coffee Trader coming to you guys this morning. This is the morning of June the 6th. And I want to do a video today to show how I create these levels on my charts. I've been asked this question by several of you, and this is a perfect morning to do this since the overnight highs went to record highs on NQ. So let me just take these levels off and we'll rebuild this thing and I can show you what I'm doing. One thing to note is I am not using any kind of a software. This is strictly done by intuition, by just looking at the charts. There's three things that I'm looking for. Number one, I'm looking for high of days, recent high of days, recent low of days, and then how does that correspond with prior highs or lows on the left side of the chart. So we are looking at a 15-minute chart on NQ. Let's take this out to a 4-hour. That's typically where I like to start, is a 4-hour chart. So now I'm looking at a 4-hour chart all the way back to September. We don't need to go that far back. We can kind of see how, we've been in this total bull market here for quite a long time. We had a bit of a dip here in April, and now we're going back to the upside. This bright green line and this bright red line, these are the initial balance high and initial balance lows of each day. That is something that I manually adjust, so we'll leave that. So let's first start, actually, you know what, we're going to start on a hourly chart. Let's go there first because I want to take the previous couple days and take a look at some of these highs. So we're looking at, what I do here is I take a region highlight, and we're going to take, like right here, this kind of stands out to me. And now I'm going to set this property. This is just done on my NinjaTrader. Maybe this is the affordable indicators. No, this is on NinjaTrader. But anyway, so we're going to take and make this red. And the outline, we're going to make this red as well. And then we're going to change the opacity to about 40%. And on this one here, we're going to go about 20%. Let's take a look at that. That's pretty good. So actually, let's take this outline and let's make it white. And let's apply that. Okay. I don't remember how I had this set, so I have to kind of redo this from scratch. Let's go with 1. You know what? Let's just take that to 100. Yeah, I like that. Okay, there you can see what we have. So, yeah, let's take this down to 80%. Okay, now what I'm also going to do is I'm going to make this on all charts. So for example, if I have, typically I have a 2-minute, a 5-minute, and a 15 to 60-minute chart open. So I'm going to set this to NQ June 24. That is the current symbol that I'm trading here. And we're going to select all charts. And now we're going to hit OK. So now if I go to the 2-minute chart, right there is that line that we just drew. See how that works? So it's easy that way I can do everything on my 60-minute tab, and then it transfers to all of my other areas. So for example, I really like this. Here we have a high of day from June 3rd, which corresponds with the high of day from June 4th. I like that. So that's a good start. Honestly, I guess this should be green. Green, really, if the current market where we're at now, if anything that is below this, I usually make it green, and anything that's above this level, I make it red. Green means that we have support at the bottom, and we're probably going to be looking for a long off of it. Red means this is resistance, and we're probably going to be looking for a short off of that level. That is not always the case, and that is not like an end-all be-all, but that is kind of the way that I think. Let's just move this line up top, and I'm going to copy this line, and I'm going to bring that one down here to this level, and now we're going to make this one green. There we go. And see, if I go to properties, I've got this set for all charts. So it's easy. It's there on across all my charts. So there's one level. That one really jumps out to me. Let's also look at this. This is a low of day down here below. Let's set this one. I may or may not keep it, but that kind of jumps out. And obviously right now we are in uncharted territory. And if you look at this, yeah, we're kind of bouncing off this level right here at the top. So that's probably a good spot to go. So there we're at kind of the keys that jump out to me. Let's move this back a little bit more. Now we're also, I really want to add a level here. So let's copy this. And we're going to bump that level to there. That was the previous, I believe, the previous all-time high. Now let's jump to the 4-hour chart since we have a couple of levels on here. All right, here we go. Now, I think, to me, I think this is one of the bigger things, is where are the key levels that I'm seeing and how does it correspond with other areas of support and resistance previously? I'm not really looking for something that's, like 6 months ago, 4 months ago. I'm looking for something within the last, couple of months. So a couple things that jump out here. If you look at this level here, I really like that. See, we've had several touch points along here. Here we had this holding for a while. We've got that high there. I also like this one right here. So I really don't need to, really don't need to go crazy, like all the way down here, but we can throw this one on here. Actually kind of like this better. This is a previous high, and we also kind of had a bit of support right here. Even though this wick through there, I would say that's probably more like where I would put that level. And then if we're looking at up top here, here we have several lows corresponding in this. Yeah, let's jump into the 15-minute. So basically, to kind of recap, we looked at the hourly to kind of get some recent highs, recent lows, see if there's anything there. This is an area that maybe should be added as well. Here we have a multiple low across that 500 area. And that's interesting. That corresponds with this high before this drop was right in that same level. We had a little level right there. So see how that, I mean, this is not, I'm not saying I'm right. I'm not saying I do this, perfectly. This is just my methodology of setting these levels. So now let's dive into the 15-minute. And let's see how some of this stuff looks on the 15-minute chart. And let's bring this in a little bit tighter so we can see a little bit more data. So here we have, I really like this key level at this 18.7, call it 52. I think that's a really good level. Like this low right here, this high of day. See here we turn this previous support into resistance. We've crossed back over there, but we had a little touch point right here on the 4th. So that's something good to watch. I really, and honestly, a lot of this is just kind of sitting and studying the charts. Here we have several lows coming in previously that kind of corresponds with this level. This is about this 18.6, I don't know what you call this, maybe the 670, 680. You know what, I'm just going to take this one up here because see, here's the other thing. I'm not that worried about way down here because the market is up here in uncharted territory. And so that the chances that we have a 500-600 point drop are not that good. If we do intraday, I can always go back in and add a level. I'm really concerned about what happens within a couple hundred points of here. Now, the interesting thing is today I only have one red line here up above. Typically I would have several, but we don't have any data to go off of for anything above this 19,100 level. We just really don't have anything above there. So today, what I'm really looking for is I'm looking for this market to probably come down. And does this previous high hold? This is going to be a critical point for me. Does this previous high hold? If it does, I'll be looking to take a long off of that. My strategy is a test of the levels that I set. And then does the market, does it hold or do we fall through? In this case, I am really looking for this to bounce and go, and I really want to go long off of this and look for continued upside. Now, again, we've had big moves to the downside, retrace back up. We had a very big move to the upside yesterday, so I would not be surprised that we have a big move to the downside, and we might be looking at some of these levels to come into play a little bit more. This is really key. See, this is what I look for. For example, right here, we have a previous high, and we have several 1, 2, 3 areas of support right here off this what is this level? 18,680. 18,680 to me looks like a very key level. And here's another little trick that I'll do. If that's a key level for me, this one here is probably not as key, so I'll make this one a little bit smaller. And move that into position right there. This, I believe, is a key level. This is a key level. 18,500 or 510, 509. Let's see how that corresponds. For some reason I can't. Why is that not behaving? 5-minute chart, I can do all kinds of zooms. Huh. Let's go back to the 30-minute once and see if we can get some more looking left. Yeah, there we go. So we were looking at that 500, kind of floating off into space there. Does it correspond with anything back here? Yes, it does. Okay, we did look at this previously. So yeah, we've got a low here. So low, and here we have a couple of highs. And then, yeah, the big one for me is this was the big high before we had this big move back in April. So I think that to me is a key area to keep on the charts. What else are we looking at? I feel like we're missing something. I mean, this is kind of a channel, but we have a high right here. Doesn't really correspond with anything. How does this look if we go further left? Let's look at this 18.8 to 18.9 area. Do we have any support resistance back here that corresponds with that? And we really don't. We really don't. So let's look at the 15-minute and see if we can find anything more consistent in that area. So we're looking at this 18.8 to 9. And right here, that seems to kind of stand out. We have a high here that is then turned into support over here. We had a couple touch points on that level. This would be the 18,840s, kind of like that. I would say that's a bit of a minor level, but I'm going to keep that on the charts as well. Right here, this is kind of a level as well, just below the 900s here. Not sure that it's worth putting it on the charts. Because I'm looking for the keys. I think this is probably one of the most clear and textbook levels that I look for is this 680. I think is just really key. See how we just have several touch points here, and we had touch point here, touch point, and several right here. This is really seems to be a key level once you get to that area. I mean, I just looking at this chart today, I am really curious if we don't have a big move this morning and we come down to this 680. This would be an excellent level to look for longs off of. And then again, like we talked about earlier, this previous high of market is what I'm really looking for early this morning. Does this hold or does it not? It may, and we may continue to new highs, shameless new highs, or we may fall through that and come down, and then we'll take a look at some of these, you know, smaller levels that were not quite as key and see what happens as we get down to the 680 should that happen. So again, I hope this makes some sense. I am not, again, this is just a matter of looking for key things that stand out, and am I comfortable with that? Does it make sense to me? You know, does it make sense to when you look at the market? You know, this is just something for me. I just think this is critical key area, and I think this is a critical key area. Those are kind of the two main ones. You know, the intraday stuff, you can, sometimes I'll go through if the market is in a bit of a channel, like yesterday we were kind of right in this channel right here. I think it was here. And so I just drew some lines in intraday. You know, I'll just go up here, grab a horizontal line, for example, and pop it in like right here, and then just set my properties to all charts and hit apply. Now I've got that on like the 2-minute chart. Let's shrink this thing down to where you can see it. See, there's that line. So as you can see, we're bumping this high of day, and to me, this is an excellent place to look for a short. If this market just holds right up here at the top at the open here, this would be a great place to short off of. You know, obviously there were a couple key shorts right here. That's, you know, that's how these levels come into play. And then we have, you know, obviously, does this previous high, does it hold? Will we get there and bounce, or are we going to fall through? So I hope that gives you a little bit of insight as to what I do and how I do it. Again, this is just me studying the chart, and I do this pretty much on a daily basis. I mean, if we're in kind of a range area where the market kind of holds in one area, then I may just, you know, glance at it in the morning and kind of go through it. Yeah, nothing's really changed. Nothing has happened. You know, sometimes what will happen is you're in kind of a bit of a channel for several days, and all at once, if you look at the 15-minute or the 5-minute, a certain little level seems to kind of jump out to you, and then you may tweak or adjust a level. That's kind of what I do. Again, this is not something that I've been taught. I literally I learned this myself. I just started to pay attention to areas to the left. I think as a good trader, and I'm not a good trader, I'm not saying I'm a good trader, but looking left on the charts is really what helps to define where key points are. And I think every trader does that. Every good trader, or if you've been trading for any length of time, you may not have a level drawn out on your charts. However, you're paying attention to what happens to the left. What's happening to the left side of my screen? Oh, we have a key point here. I remember that from, you know, X, Y, or Z. And I think, you know, for me, I just put the levels on the chart so I can see exactly where that's at. And then my strategy is just to take trades based off of that information. So it's kind of the strategy is kind of twofold. One is this what I just did is to set these levels. And then number two then is to execute trades based off of those levels. So sometimes I'll be completely wrong on a level, and I think it's more difficult to be correct in a level in some of these kind of range areas. That is why I really think it's so important to look at the big picture and look at to the left. Does any of this correspond with any previous areas? That is why I think that is so critical. You know, so anyway, hope that helps. But yeah, that's how I choose my levels. It's how I start my days typically, is to make sure that I'm happy with the levels I've got marked and kind of have a game plan for the day. And, you know, do I think this market's going to go one way or the other? I am not biased. I am not a person that, even though today I think there's two options, I think we either bounce off this previous high and we look for an upside, or we fall through and we get downside down to probably this key level here of 680, if I'm correct. Those are kind of my two plays. However, I don't go into the market thinking, okay, we're going one way and I'm biased today. I am going to take what that market gives me. If it gives me a bounce and upside, then I'm looking for longs. If this continues to fall, then I'm probably looking for shorts through these levels. And then we'll really pay attention to this key level of 680, which I think is a very key level. So anyway, that's how I do it. I hope that helps. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment. I'll do my best to answer. If you've got any insights or anything you'd like to add, or give me some advice, I would obviously listen to that as well. So kind of curious to see how today goes. Hopefully we can have a good solid day and continue to have a good consistent month of June. Take care.